Hello everyone, and welcome back to your daily English dose. Let me start by asking you a fundamental question. Are you a passenger in your own life, or are you the architect? So many of us simply get on the ride, letting fate decide the destination. But this video isn't here to offer you comfortable words of reassurance. This is an emergency intervention for your life. We are here to confront a powerful truth. Success is not a product of luck or chance. It is the direct result of unwavering determination, sacrifice, and intentional action. Today, we embark on a journey together. This journey will begin by understanding the psychological cage you've built around yourself. Then, we will forge the mental master key to escape that cage. After that, we will draw up a new blueprint for your life. And finally, you will witness the proof of how that blueprint can create a magnificent reality. The theme of this video is simple but powerful. Your potential is a debt you owe to yourself and to the people who believe in you. This is the blueprint to repay that debt. Stay with me until the end, because this idea will connect to one of the most powerful motivators we have, making our parents proud. So, if you are ready to stop being a passenger and start designing your destiny, let's begin. Part 1. Deconstructing the cage. The psychology of stagnation. Let's be honest. Our biggest enemy isn't our boss, our circumstances, or the world around us. Our biggest enemy lives inside of us. It is the inner voice that whispers excuses and begs us to maintain the status quo. The greatest obstacle to changing your life is your own internal resistance to change. But why? Why is it so hard to take action, even when we desperately want to change? This isn't just about being lazy. There are powerful psychological mechanisms at play. First, let's talk about the comfort zone. As the name suggests, this is a mental space where we feel safe and secure. It's a familiar environment where our daily routines and behaviors don't cause us stress or anxiety. But here is the dangerous truth. This comfortable place is also a space where growth is impossible. It feels good, but it keeps you small. So what keeps us locked inside this cage? It's a cognitive mechanism called the status quo bias. This is our brain's natural tendency to keep things as they are, to avoid the uncertainty that comes with change. This bias has deep roots in our evolutionary history. For our ancestors, the unknown was filled with life-threatening dangers. Sticking to familiar patterns was a key survival strategy. Even in today's world, our brain is designed to save energy. Processing new information, learning new skills, and making new decisions consume a lot of calories. So our brain unconsciously prefers the familiar, easy path of what we already know. It's not your fault, it's your programming. But you have the power to reprogram it. Now you might be thinking, staying in my comfort zone doesn't seem so bad. But there is a huge, hidden cost to inaction. When you choose comfort, you are paying for it with the currency of lost opportunities. You miss out on chances to learn, to challenge yourself, and to unlock your true potential. This leads to a life of monotony, a feeling of being stuck, and a decreased ability to handle unexpected challenges when they inevitably arise. The first step to breaking free is to admit to yourself, I am a slave to the status quo bias. You must ask yourself, why do I truly believe that my current situation is the best option? Is it based on a rational decision, or is it just psychological inertia? Think about the excuses you tell yourself. I don't have time. I'm not ready yet. I'll start tomorrow. These are not just signs of laziness. They are sophisticated psychological defense mechanisms. Your brain, hardwired for survival, sees psychological risks, like failure or judgment from others, as real dangers. To protect you from this danger, it creates logical-sounding excuses to keep you safely inside the fortress of your comfort zone. So the enemy isn't your laziness. It's your own deeply rooted self-defense system. Now that you've seen the bars of your cage, are you ready to learn how to break them? In the next part, we will craft the key. Welcome back. In the last part, we identified the invisible cage that keeps us stuck, our comfort zone, protected by the status quo bias. Now that we've diagnosed the problem, it's time to build the solution. To change your life, you must understand that action follows belief. Before you can change your habits, you must first change your mind. This is how we forge the master key. It has two essential parts, two pillars of an unshakable mindset. Pillar 1. Self-efficacy. The belief that I can do it. This concept was developed by the Canadian psychologist Albert Bandura. Self-efficacy is the belief in your own ability to succeed in specific situations or accomplish a task. It is the direct antidote to the feeling of helplessness that keeps people stuck. There are 4 main sources you can use to build your self-efficacy. First and most powerful is mastery experiences. This means achieving success through your own actions. The key is not to aim for a massive goal from the start. Instead, you set small, challenging yet achievable goals. Each time you succeed, you provide your brain with concrete proof that you are capable. This creates a powerful positive feedback loop. Action creates success. Success builds belief. And that belief empowers you to take on even more ambitious actions. Second is vicarious experiences, which means learning by watching others. Find a role model, someone who is similar to you and has achieved what you want to achieve. When you see someone like you succeed, your brain starts to think, if they can do it, maybe I can too. This is incredibly powerful for boosting your self-efficacy. Third is verbal persuasion. This is the power of words. It includes encouragement from others, like a friend telling you, "You've got this." But it also includes the words you say to yourself. These positive affirmations are crucial. However, it's important to use them correctly. Instead of saying, "I will not fail," which is negative and future-focused, say, "I have the skills to succeed," which is positive and present-focused. Fourth is emotional and physiological states. This is about managing your mind and body. Feelings of stress and anxiety lower your self-efficacy, while feelings of calmness and excitement raise it. This is why getting enough sleep, eating nutritious food, and exercising are not luxuries. They are essential practices for building a strong mind. You can even learn to reframe your feelings. Instead of interpreting a racing heart as anxiety, you can see it as excitement and energy ready to be used. Now for the second pillar of our master key. Pillar 2, the growth mindset, the power of not yet. Carol Dweck, a psychologist at Stanford University, discovered that our beliefs about our own abilities fall into 2 categories, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. A person with a fixed mindset believes that their intelligence and abilities are fixed traits, carved in stone. They are afraid of failure because they see it as a judgment of their inherent worth. On the other hand, a person with a growth mindset believes that their abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. They embrace challenges, persist through setbacks, and see failure not as an end, but as a necessary part of the learning process. The core of the growth mindset lies in reframing failure. It's about adding one simple word to your vocabulary, yet. You didn't fail, you just haven't succeeded yet. You don't understand it, you just don't understand it yet. Think of Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That is a perfect example of a growth mindset. It's about valuing the process of effort, not just the final result. These 2 pillars, self-efficacy and the growth mindset, work together in a powerful cycle. The growth mindset encourages you to take that first step and see a challenge as a learning opportunity. By breaking that challenge into small steps and achieving them, you build self-efficacy. This increased self-efficacy gives you the confidence to take on bigger challenges. And when you inevitably face failure, the growth mindset allows you to see it as valuable feedback, not a final judgment. This protects your self-efficacy and motivates you to try again. This cycle is the engine of exponential personal growth. You now understand the cage, and you have the master key in your hand. In the next part, we will draw the blueprint that will guide you to a new reality. You've made it to part 3. You understand the mindset of why you need to change. Now, we shift to the strategy of how to change. This is where we turn intention into everyday reality. This is the blueprint for action. Strategy 1. Habit design, automating your success. Much of our daily life is governed by unconscious habits. Neurologically, these habits are formed by a 3-step loop: the cue, the routine, And the reward. The cue is a trigger that tells your brain to go into automatic mode. The routine is the behavior itself. The reward is what helps your brain figure out if this particular loop is worth remembering for the future. We can consciously engineer this loop to build good habits. For example, if you want to exercise more, you could design a loop like this. The cue is finishing dinner. The routine is putting on your running shoes and walking for 15 minutes. The reward is listening to your favorite podcast during the walk. By linking the action to a clear cue and a satisfying reward, you make the behavior automatic over time. To break a bad habit, the most effective method is not to fight it with willpower, but to change the cue or replace the routine. If you snack on junk food when you're bored, the cue. Find a new routine, like drinking a glass of water or doing 5 push-ups, when you feel that cue. Strategy 2. Time design. Turning wishes into schedules. Traditional to-do lists often fail. They show you what you need to do, but not when or how you will do it. This leads to procrastination. A much more powerful method is time blocking. This is where you assign a purpose to every block of time in your day. Your calendar becomes more than just a list of appointments. It becomes a strategic plan for your life. You can start this today using a simple tool like Google Calendar. The key is to schedule blocks for everything. Block out time for deep work, your most important tasks that require intense focus. Block out time for shallow work, like answering emails. And, just as importantly, block out personal time for rest and recovery. Time blocking transforms your relationship with time. Instead of being reactive, you become proactive. You are no longer just responding to what life throws at you. You are telling your time where to go. This gives you a profound sense of control and accomplishment. Strategy 3. Relationship design. Curating your environment. There's a famous saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Your relationships are either a source of growth or a heavy anchor weighing you down. You must intentionally design your social environment. First, you need to identify the energy vampires in your life. These are people who, consciously or unconsciously, drain your emotional energy. They are characterized by constant negativity, a victim mentality, blaming others, and an excessive need for attention. To protect your mental and emotional resources, you must set clear boundaries. This can mean limiting the time you spend with them, keeping conversations superficial, learning to say no without feeling guilty, or, in some cases, creating physical and emotional distance. By doing this, you reclaim the time and energy that was being wasted on unproductive relationships and can reinvest it in yourself. This is your blueprint. Design your habits, design your time, and design your relationships. This is how you move from thinking about a new life to actively building it, brick by brick. In our final part, we'll see the incredible structures that can be built with this blueprint. Welcome to the final part of our journey. Theories and strategies are meaningless without proof. In this section, we will witness the evidence. We will see how the principles we've discussed, self-efficacy, a growth mindset, and intentional design, have created real-world success in the face of incredible adversity. Case Study 1. The Innovator's Journey. Steve Jobs. In his famous 2005 Stanford commencement speech, Steve Jobs told 3 stories that perfectly illustrate his life philosophy. First, connecting the dots. Jobs dropped out of college, leaving the safe, comfortable path. He then followed his curiosity and took a calligraphy class. At the time, this knowledge seemed useless, but 10 years later it became the foundation for the beautiful typography of the Macintosh, changing the world of personal computing forever. This is a perfect example of trusting the process, even when you can't see the future. Second, love and loss. Jobs was fired from Apple, the very company he started. It was the biggest failure of his career. But he didn't see it as a defeat. He reframed it as, the best thing that could have ever happened to me. It freed him from the pressure of being successful and allowed him to re-enter a period of incredible creativity as a beginner again. This is the essence of a growth mindset. Third, death. After being diagnosed with cancer, Jobs lived with a keen awareness of his limited time. This gave him the clarity to focus only on what was truly important, and it erased his fear of failure. His story is a powerful reminder of the urgency to act now. Jobs refused to be trapped by the dogma of living with the results of other people's thinking. He forged his self-efficacy not through easy wins, but by reframing his greatest failures as his greatest opportunities. Case Study 2: The Titans of Industry, Japanese Entrepreneurs. These principles are universal. The stories of Japan's greatest entrepreneurs prove it. Soichiro Honda, after early success, faced bankruptcy when his piston rings failed. He didn't quit. He went back to university to learn more and eventually built a global empire. His philosophy is captured in his words: "Success is 99% failure." Kazuo Inamori struggled to find a job and ended up at a company on the verge of collapse. He didn't despair. He dedicated himself to research, developed new ceramics, and founded Kyocera. His belief was clear: there is no failure as long as you are challenging. Failure is when you give up. These stories show that a powerful mindset is the ultimate tool for overcoming any obstacle. Conclusion: the debt of potential and the mission to repay. We've reached the emotional core of this speech, the ultimate motivation for your action. It is about honoring your parents. In today's world, honoring your parents isn't about financial support or blind obedience. It is about living a life that pays respect to the sacrifices they made for you. Research shows that what truly makes parents happy is seeing their children healthy, in good relationships, and above all, living a fulfilled life. The greatest gift you can give them is to become the person they always believed you could be. Your success becomes a testament to their lives. So here is the final challenge. You now know the cage of the comfort zone exists. You now hold the key of a growth mindset. You have been given the blueprint for action, and you have seen the proof of what can be built. The time for action is now. As Steve Jobs said, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. It's not about whether you will be rewarded for your efforts. It is about making the effort until you are rewarded. Stop making excuses and start creating. The life you were meant to live is waiting. Your parents are waiting. What are you waiting for? The work begins now. Thank you for joining us on this journey today at your Daily English Dose. If this message resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. More importantly, share your thoughts in the comments below. What is the first action you will take after watching this? Let's support each other. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Keep learning, keep growing, and start building your destiny. We'll see you next time.